I'm here in the Heritage Foundation building in Washington, D.C. with my dear friend, Frank Gaffney. So good to see you here.
It's great to see you.
What an amazing place we're in. I mean, this is a lot going on for conservatives in this building. Frank, I want to start out by talking to you about the accidental little phrase that Obama said today. He basically said that without having to campaign, he has nothing to lose in this election. What does that mean for national security?
Well, I actually interpreted it a little differently. I heard him say to the Russians that he would be able to give them more once he's out from under this election.
More what?
More what, indeed?
Yeah.
Well, it seems most immediately more of the kind of concessions that they're seeking on missile defense.
Right.
Presumably more on other national security sensitive topics. And who knows what else. But the point is that this is what we've all believed he was about.
Yeah.
And now he's confirmed it.
He said it out loud.
We actually have it in his words and said, again, not to some friendly Western journalist or not to, an American audience, but to the Russians.
Yeah. Is this treasonous?
Well, I don't think it's treasonous, but I think what it is cynical. Mm-hmm. It is certainly indicative of the kind of, radical that I think we're dealing with in this president, especially coming against the backdrop of what we saw in his statement just hours before to this university in Seoul, where he's talking about making still more sweeping cuts in the ultimate guarantor of our security, namely our nuclear deterrent. You put all this together, and I think you have clarity at last that I hope will become resonant with Americans of every political stripe. Mm-hmm. That if we give this guy another 4 years, he will feel unconstrained in what he does to this country. And what he's done to this country during the first 4 years, in which he's at least had to think about re-election, has been bad enough. Imagine what it might be like if that sort of limitation is no longer present.
So many of his supporters, the celebrities and the people that have the microphones, they basically have said that he hasn't done enough, and they're looking forward to what else he'll do. Mm-hmm. What do you say to those people? What do you say to the people that are listening to those celebrities who don't know the difference?
Well, look, he said when he was about to be elected that he was going to fundamentally transform America.
Right.
And we've had a taste of what he has in mind. And there are people who don't like what America is, who don't care for the Constitution of the United States, which happens to be on the wall right behind you, or a copy of it, who don't like the country that it has given rise to, who don't approve of the kind of program that has made this country the greatest, freest, most powerful in the world. And tragically, those people have a real shot at getting this president reelected and thereby free to finish the job of fundamentally transforming the country. And I think doing so is in ways that would make it unrecognizable and really not America anymore.
Wow. It's kind of terrifying, isn't it?
It is, and as to what I would say to the people who are listening to the celebrities or influenced by them, I guess I'd say, think for yourself.
Yeah.
This is your country. This is not only the country in which you live, but it's the country to which you will be bequeathing, if you have them, your children and your grandchildren. Yeah. And you may like, what a celebrity does on the screen or, in a music studio. And that's fine. But unless you think that their vision of an America is the same as your vision of an America, then I wouldn't take too seriously their admiration for Barack Obama or their ambition to see him finish changing this country into something that, well, doesn't have the freedoms enshrined in our Constitution, doesn't have the kinds of opportunities for all of us that this country has provided us, and most especially doesn't have the security that we've taken for granted for too long.
I want to switch gears just a little bit. In DC right now, they're debating Obamacare in the Supreme Court. One of the words in Obamacare is isdhimmitude. I want to ask you, what is isdhimmitude? One of my Facebook friends, Michael Keller, is very concerned, and he wanted me to ask you about this in particular. What does that word mean to you, for us?
Well, I have to say I'm not aware that the word isdhimmitude is used in the legislation itself.
It's a rumor then.
There's been some talk that we are exhibiting isdhimmitude by giving Muslims special treatment under Obamacare. I'm not sure that's true, but the larger problem is absolutely true. In fact, I'm in the finishing stages now of a course that'll be available online shortly that will help people connect the dots between what is at work in significant parts of the Muslim world today, which is something that its adherents call Sharia. And it's a totalitarian, supremacist doctrine. Some people have called it communism with a god. I think that's a pretty good expression because it really connotes what it is about in terms of repression, in terms of really submission to that ideological doctrine and program. And those who are submitting are known in Arabic as dhimmis. And isdhimmitude is a term that's been coined to sort of capture the condition that they're in and that we would be in if we, in fact, allow ourselves to be forced to submit to this Sharia program, especially bad for women, but not just women, not just homosexuals, not just Jews, not just apostates to Islam, not just artists and writers, singers. I mean, people, interestingly enough, who make up a big part of the left in this country, who have been, if not absolutely supportive of those who are trying to bring Sharia here, are certainly accommodating them and in some cases enabling them. And that is one of the great ironies of our time, because they would be the first to be put to the knife.
It's like the fish handing the fisherman a worm.
Well, indeed.
And a hook.
And a hook, more to the point.
Yeah, wow. What do we do about all this? How do we save the world? That's a simple question. Yeah, just please.
Look,
I trust that if anyone can answer that, it'll be you.
Well, I've given a lot of thought, and it's part of what we're trying to convey in this course, is not just what the problem is with Sharia and with the Muslim Brotherhood trying to bring it here, and with the various efforts that they've made, some quite successful, to penetrate our government and other aspects of our civil society. And the bottom line, really first and foremost, is we need to get smart about the nature of the problem. And one of the reasons why I've appreciated so much our interactions on this program and elsewhere is we've had a chance to talk, not just you and I, but to God only knows how many other people about some of these problems, and getting them aware of the nature of the problem, enabling them to learn more about how it's likely to affect their lives, those of their children, of their communities, their liberties, their country. I mean, that's the prerequisite, it seems to me, to fixing these problems. And once you do understand that they're there are lots of ways that you can help. I sort of break it down into three categories. One, you can do it to some extent, in some ways, as an individual. You can do it as a member of an organization. Go out, start your own, or participate in others like Act for America, a terrific group, Keep America Safe, Eagle Forum, and United West, and many others that have come together because people saw what was happening to their country and decided they wanted to do something about it. And to the extent that they can do that jointly, make common cause, they can make a real difference. And then there's things that we have to do as a people, as a nation, with members of Congress and others in elective office, and you know, supporting those whose job it is to defend us against particularly the violent kind of this threat, but also, and this is perhaps as important as anything, against the stealthy kind of this threat, the so-called civilization jihad of the Muslim Brotherhood, which isn't violent yet, but it's not nonviolent. It's pre-violent. Yeah, it's pre-violent. And if you understand that, and you want to learn more about what you can actually do about it, then take this course.
How do they find out from you? Tell us about it. Where can they find your course?
We're doing the rollout here, hopefully in another 2 weeks or so, and there'll be more information about it at our site, which is www.securefreedom.org.
Okay. Thank you so much, Frank, for everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you for what you're doing.
You're just an amazing man.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching Memory with PolitiChicks.tv, the right kind of PC.